Okay, I didn't want to make a video until night 2 was over. And I'm not doing like a big review because I'm not gonna lie, night 1 was trash. Night 1 was garbage, pure garbage. And everyone was like, man, Triple H gotta get fired. But boy, night 2 was way better. Than night 1. Like night 2, can I say it felt like WrestleMania? I guess so. You could say night 2 with this garbage we've been getting. Yeah, I guess that would be what WrestleMania was. But everyone was like, man, Triple H got to get fired. But, I guess Triple H saved his job with night 2. He'll get another shot in creative, I guess. But we're glad we got something. Night 2 pretty much kept my attention. Before I go down, of what I think of each match on night 2, I just want to point out one thing. Every champion came out second, except Jade Cargill. And I'm going to leave it at that. Plus the referee was rushing her, for her to give the title, like, give me the title. And Jade was like, stop. Here's the title. Like, why are you rushing, to, like, disrespect me on TV? Like, you will see referees just hold their hand out, let the wrestler get their stuff in, and then the wrestler gives the title when they're damn near ready to give the title. No, this, like you can tell Jade got, like, real heat, in this back locker room. For some reason, I don't know. But you do not see, and you didn't see it with Rhea, but you can tell just certain on-screen stuff, like, it's not just Rhea. They don't do this with other wrestlers. It is making me look closely at other wrestlers and how they interact with the refs, how they interact with other talent that's, I wouldn't say on-air talent, but it is making me wonder. After that ref was, like, rushing her to get that belt, and I mean, it's a pay-per-view. Like, ain't no time limit. This is streaming. They could stream for 20 hours if they want. But going down, Oba versus Brock, great match. It was less than 5 minutes. If Brock wanted to retire, damn, like, you couldn't give us a little over 5, but it was a fine match. Oba went over. We all thought Brock was going to win, and then they was going to run it back or something, but Brock out of this garbage. Brock said, I'm done. I'm retiring at WrestleMania. I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm done. I don't even know if Triple H knew Brock was done. But I'm glad he went out the way he did before Triple H tried to put him through a retirement tour. I think Brock did this on his own. I don't think Triple H knew what was going on. If he did, so what? He couldn't do nothing about it. Brock wasn't going on no retirement tour. They said Triple H running this company through the ground. Vince ain't got nothing to do with it. Done. And I thought that, a lot of black people wasn't gonna go over. He damn near booked it to where they had to win. Next, 6-man ladder match. For what it was good. Would have been better if it had some story. Like I said, it would have been way better if it had some story, but throw 6 men in a ladder match, of course. It has to be a banger, but just glad nobody got hurt. Good match. Penta retains. I think the crowd really wanted Javon Evans to get that gold, but we'll see in the future. Penta keeps his title. Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. Lil Yachty should not be paired with Trick Williams anymore. Something about Lil Yachty's voice. He's not a manager. He doesn't know how to be a manager. Lil Yachty did his thing when he interfered with the Sami Zayn match, but Sami hit him first. Sami attacked him. If y'all want to get Sami some good heat, turn Sami heel right now. I wouldn't even care if Sami went in the main title picture. If you turn Sami heel. Heel Sami Zayn on SmackDown running wild might make for good TV. But Trick had to win. Trick to me had like one of the best entrances at WrestleMania. But everything about this match went smooth. Trick Williams got that U.S. title at WrestleMania. That was his WrestleMania moment. Sami Zayn has to turn heel. At this point, the crowd gave up on Sami Zayn. And Sami thinks he has fans. Sami has to turn heel. That's all I'm saying. But this was a good match. Next, you got the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio in a street fight. They kind of ruined the surprise, saying that the Demon Finn Balor was going to show up instead of Finn Balor. I don't know. Are we going to get, what is going to come out of this? It's fine, but it would have been better if a title was on the line. But, okay, now do we get regular Finn Balor back on Raw, or what's going on? I don't think they have anything for Finn Balor besides, beefing with the Judgment Day. I'll be fine with that, but, we can't beef with the Judgment Day all the way into SummerSlam. So find something for Finn Balor to do. But for the most part, 10 minutes, it was a good match. Rhea versus Jade, surprisingly, was a good match. I think Rhea, they had that one little hiccup, I think, when Jade face planted into the mat. We thought she broke her nose or something, but she didn't. Honestly, Rhea didn't need this win. We all wanted Jade to win, but I saw something, I don't know. It was the IWC saying saying Jade was going to go do a movie or something like that. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with the Jade character. But to be honest, Jade didn't need, a faction to help her beat Rhea. If you watch the match, Jade was basically winning the whole time. I mean, Rhea did some stuff, got it. Rhea really didn't get her stuff in. Rhea pretty much let Jade control the match. And Rhea hit Jade with 4 moves and got the 3. They don't know how to book Jade. Well, no. They know how to book Jade. They're booking her bad on purpose. It was a solid match. It was one of the better matches at WrestleMania. But like I said, Jade has been in the top storylines of WWE since she came. And they failed to realize that you got half of the IWC calling her garbage. And she just dog-walked Rhea and showed y'all, Rhea can't wrestle better than me. Rhea can't sell better than me. Jade didn't even do some top rope stuff. And Jade knows how to do top rope stuff. Jade could be technical. She did submissions there's no reason Rhea should have went over. But if it's true that Jade had to go do movies or something, then that's fine. But no one wants Rhea on SmackDown. I'm sorry. Are we getting Lash versus Rhea? Or like the Io Sky and Rhea stuff is starting to get cringe. Because why is Io Sky just... what has Rhea done for Io Sky? Did Rhea elevate Io Sky? No. Did Io elevate Rhea? Yes. I'm pretty sure like Asuka would never do some shit like this. Never. Damn near Kari wouldn't. They wouldn't do that. But Io has to do it. Io, I think, is a Triple H girl. I'm just surprised Io and Jade had a good match. And it's a damn shame Jade, they made her come out first. What's really going on? Man, the Vision and the Usos weren't even fighting for the titles, and the Vision still came out second because they were the champs. Roman is a bigger superstar than CM Punk, and Roman came out first. Cody came out second. What is really going on? What is going on? But whatever. The match was good. This was a Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn type thing. And Jade needed the win. Rhea didn't need this win. Jade winning at WrestleMania would have felt good and shut up a lot of people. But I think Jade sharing those, hey, this is what I'm getting in my DM. When Jade started leaning into the racist stuff, I think WWE's look, we don't share that. We talk about it, but we ain't sharing that with the public. I think Jade probably got punished. Jade got punished. But hey, she doing her thing. Roman versus CM Punk. Good match. The story was okay. Wish they could have did a little more. CM Punk, I'm not going to say CM Punk turned heel. He did a heelish tactic. But I mean, Roman hit CM Punk with the steps, didn't get disqualified because it's like the main event. No one wants, the match to end in a DQ. Roman knows this. But I mean, if you blatantly low blow somebody, that's normally a DQ. But the way CM Punk did it, it was smooth. If CM Punk would have won off that, it would have been wild. But, for the most, there's no complaints about this match. We got no complaints. Should I say a 10 out of 10? I mean, I'm sick of seeing the table. The table spots used to be sacred. Used to be, why nobody jumps from the turnbuckle to the table? And now it's an overused spot, man. Just like how they had the wall, the barricade, somebody always getting speared through it. I mean, they do that same spot. I mean, do some other spots. Like, how many times did we see somebody jump through that table today? Like, do some more spots. But I mean, it was good for what it was worth. But like I said, Night 2 saved the Triple H's job. Man, it saved Triple H's job. Did it save his job? Yes. God, because Night 1 was horrible. Now nobody's going to buy tickets to Night 1. They're going to buy it to Night 2. And I understand why. But for the most part, WrestleMania was good. Like I said, I don't need to dissect this segment by segment, every minute. Go watch it yourself. Stop paying ESPN, man. Use that VPN and watch it on Netflix. Do not give ESPN no money. Do not give WWE no money. Watch that on Netflix. You already pay for Netflix. Watch it on Netflix. If you got ESPN Unlimited for other than wrestling, then you can watch it on there. But, man, get your VPN and watch that. Because, man, Paul Levesque gotta go, bro. Monday Night Raw is gonna be lit, probably. And I don't know, because ain't nothing leading back into it. Okay, you got a part-time champion. Cody's still on SmackDown with his championship. Rhea's the new women's championship. And people are saying, oh, don't worry, Liv is coming after Rhea. How? Man, I hate the IWC. I hate the IWC. SmackDown about to be garbage because now y'all gonna have to see Rhea every day. Y'all gonna have to see Tiffany versus Rhea. Julia versus Rhea is gonna be a banger if they ever decide to do it. And you can't Rhea Hogan Julia. She ain't letting it slide. But for the most part, WrestleMania Night 2, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10, but they definitely did Jade wrong. We're going to investigate more. We're going to investigate more in this Jade situation. I think they're trying to force Jade out. But more on that later. Like, comment, subscribe.